Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 66, Zunti and hashtag 039, S time of receiving the audience. This happened just after Hung Jun's second sermon. Now without the constraints of the Witch Clan, the Demon Clan developed rapidly and is now the largest force in the prehistoric world. Below them, there are overseas forces headed by Dong Wangong, which gradually developed towards the prehistoric continent. Because of the title of the world's first male immortal conferred by Hung Jun himself, Dong Wangong was very arrogant and believed that he must be the man of destiny. As Dong Wangong's power continued to develop towards the continent, it continued to collide with the Demon Clan, and the conflicts between the two sides became more and more. Originally, Dong Wangong wanted to invite Shi Wangmu, and the two of them became Taoist partners, and then managed the prehistoric world together. Unfortunately, Shi Wangmu did not have the mind to dominate the prehistoric world, and only wanted to stay in her own West Kunlun. Dong Wangong had no choice but to compete with the Demon Clan himself. Shichen looked and found that Dong Wangong's luck was much stronger. Originally, it was just a force that was easily destroyed by the Demon Clan, but now it has a tendency to grow and develop. Dong Wangong and Shi Wangmu were canonized as the heads of male and female immortals by Hung Jun. They were originally chess pieces abandoned by the Heavenly Dao, but now the Heavenly Dao seems to have another way. After the Wu Clan withdrew from the battle for hegemony in the prehistoric world, the Heavenly Dao tried to persuade the ancestor witches several times but failed, and finally chose to give up and find another force to support. And Dong Wangong's force is undoubtedly the best one, and it is legitimate. Fortunately, I let Hung Jun choose such a discarded piece at the beginning. Now the discarded piece has become a chess piece, which is also something that the Heavenly Dao did not expect. Speaking of which, I also occupied the Penglay Fairy Island of this overseas cultivator. Although I don't care, I still give them some compensation. Looking at the Dong Wangong force, which is not as good as the Demon Clan now, he casually injected a trace of Dao merit into their luck. As an existence equal to the Dao, some Dao merit can still be created, but it is relatively small. After all, Dao merit is too precious. Even if it was just a trace of the merit of the great Dao, it would be enough to allow the power of the Duke of the East to continue for 10,000 years or even longer, and it would not be so easy to be destroyed by the demons. Although the Duke of the East was much inferior to the demons, if there was the support of the Heavenly Dao behind him, the destruction of the demons was inevitable. In order for the human race to dominate the prehistoric world in the future, the Heavenly Dao also took care of it. The power created by the Duke of the East was called the 10,000 Immortals Alliance, which was enough to show his ambition, and with the help of the Heavenly Dao, he also obtained the formation called the 10,000 Immortals Formation. Although this formation was not as good as the 12 Tushan Gods and Evils formation of the Wu Clan and the Jotian Star formation of the Demon Clan, it was also well known in the prehistoric world. At this time, Shichen noticed that there were two familiar people outside his fairy island. It turned out that the two people of Zunti Jian had found him here. As time passed in his eyes, he knew why the two knew where he was. It turned out that when Jiang and Bai traveled in the prehistoric world, they were taken care of by Zunti Jian, so they revealed their whereabouts, which led to the two people visiting now. With the shrewdness of Zunti Jian, it was not difficult to guess the relationship between Jiang and Bai and themselves when they saw their position in Xixiao Palace and the two boys behind them. The two of them later met the boys under their seats in the prehistoric world, and of course they wanted to make friends. With Zunti Jian, two guys who never suffered losses, the two boys also learned a lot in the prehistoric world, and basically did not suffer any losses. Shichen himself did not dislike Zunti Jian and the two, but admired them quite a lot, so he directly opened the formation and let the two in. Zunti Jian and the two went all the way to the East China Sea, and followed the instructions of Xiang and Bai at the beginning. Finally, they came to the vicinity of Penglay Fairy Island, but they never found Shishen's dojo. Brother, we have come to the shore of the East China Sea according to the instructions of fellow Daoist Jiang at the beginning. Why haven't we found the dojo of the senior yet? Zunti looked at Jian and said, "It doesn't matter. The senior's dojo must have many restrictions. It's not that easy to find. If the senior doesn't want us to find it, we won't be able to find it even if we look for another 10,000 years." Jian was not in a hurry. He knew that the other party must have found the two of them. If he planned to let the two of them in, he would definitely open the formation. If he didn't want them to come in, the two of them would not be able to find it no matter how hard they looked. At this time, the two suddenly found that the sea water in front of them had changed, and then a huge island emerged. From the outside, one could only vaguely see clouds and mist rolling, cranes flying together, and apes offering fruits. "Great, senior brother, it seems that the senior is willing to see us." Zunti was surprised to see this. "Junior brother, pay attention, don't leave a bad impression on the senior." Jian quickly reminded Zunti. "Senior brother, we were like that in Xixiao Palace, what image do we still have?" Zunti rolled his eyes and couldn't help complaining. This. Jian was stunned by his junior brother's self-explosion. How could he forget that the senior was watching from above? "Since you are here, come in and have a chat." At this time, Shichen's voice came, and the two did not dare to delay and flew into the fairy island. When the two entered the fairy island, they saw Qiang and Baiyu standing in front of a huge palace. "Two Taoist friends, the master is waiting for you in the palace, follow us in." Qiang smiled at the two people coming over and said to them, "In this case, I will trouble you two Taoist friends to lead the way." Zunti Jian bowed his head and said to the two people. Qiang and Baiyu nodded, then pushed open the palace and led the way in front. "Master, Taoist Zunti Jian has been brought here." The two bowed to Shichen and said, "What do you two little guys want to do here, old ancestor?" Shichen waved his hand, signaling the two boys to leave, and then smiled at Zunti Jian and the others. "Hello, senior." Seeing this, the two bowed to Shichen first, and then spoke. "Senior, we met Taoist Jiang and got along well with each other in the prehistoric world. Now we come to visit you by the way. Ha ha ha, you two don't have to be like this. I already know what you did, but thanks to you, The two little guys who have never left the fairy island don't suffer too much. Shichen smiled when he heard this, but didn't blame them. Senior, please understand. My two brothers have been working hard for the development of the West, so their methods are a bit despicable. Please forgive me. Zunti Jane saw that Shichen didn't blame him, so he was relieved. Alas, I also know about the affairs of the West, but they were left by Hung Jun's battle with Laha, so the Heavenly Deo will also compensate you. Shichen sighed softly when he heard this. Compensation? Could it be? Zunti was stunned when he heard this, and then he seemed to think of something. Junior brother, don't talk nonsense. Jayan interrupted Zunti's thoughts and asked him to be silent. This is a secret that cannot be spread in the prehistoric world at present, and it cannot be said casually. Although this place is not under the surveillance of the Heavenly Deo, it is not something they can speculate at present. Obviously, the two of them also vaguely guessed about the seeds at the beginning, but they could not say it clearly. At the beginning, all the great powers in the prehistoric world had some vague guesses, but no one dared to bring it up. I am afraid that the two of them were able to get 2 seeds at the beginning because of Hung Jun's tacit approval. Thinking of this, Zunti and Jayan had thousands of thoughts in their minds. Have you ever thought about the outside of the prehistoric world in the future? Shichen suddenly spoke at this time. Beyond a great desolation? But that chaos? Zunti Jayan was stunned when he heard this, and then looked at Shichen and asked. The great desolation is just one of the many great worlds. Outside of its chaos, there are countless other worlds. Shichen explained. What do you mean, senior? Zunti Jayan looked at each other after hearing this, and then looked at Shichen and said carefully. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 67 Zhang Sanfen wants to destroy the Yuan dynasty. I want you to preach the truth in the heavens. Although the Great Desolation is huge, it is still very small compared to the entire chaos. You don't have to keep staring at the Great Desolation. In the future, I will let you see other worlds. The Great Desolation still needs your protection. Shichen waved his hand, and countless worlds appeared on the screen, allowing the two to see countless wonderful worlds. Senior, do you mean that we will go to other worlds in the future? Zunti Jayan asked after hearing this. There are so many worlds, why should we stick to one Great Desolation? I just want the Great Desolation to have fewer disasters and calamities. Senior, we understand. The two nodded after hearing this. Then the two chatted with Shichen for a while and proposed to leave. Take this with you. This is the Earth Vein Bead. It is a magic weapon I made for the broken Western land. Although it is a great Deo merit treasure, it has no other abilities, only the ability to repair the world. With this treasure, within 100,000 years, the West will be as prosperous as the East today. Shichen threw out an object casually, but it was a great Deo merit treasure, which almost scared the two of them. Innate treasures are already extremely rare, and magic weapons with heavenly merits are even rarer, and this is actually a great Deo merit treasure. Although it only has the ability to repair the world, how big is the prehistoric world? Even if it is just a Western land, it is infinitely large, larger than some weak worlds, which shows how powerful this treasure is. Thank you for your kindness, Senior. On behalf of all sentient beings in the West, thank you for saving the suffering. Zunti Jayan bowed down directly when he saw this. He was shocked and ecstatic at the same time. Now the Western Earth veins can finally be saved. Go, I'm just for the West, not for you. Shichen waved his hand. The two of them said no more and turned to leave the Wangxiang Palace. After saying hello to Xiang and Baiyu, they left here directly and headed west. Everyone, the old Taoist has recently comprehended various Tai Chi techniques and has made some progress. He plans to create a martial arts flourishing era, unify the Central Plains, and prepare for the world promotion in the future. At this time, Zhang Sanfen appeared in the chat group and said to everyone in surprise. Recently, Zhang Sanfen has been comprehending the techniques in the chat group. He is a Taoist himself and has studied the yin and yang of Tai Chi. Now that he has made some progress, he plans to create his own martial arts and take the path of martial arts practice. Congratulations, old man, have you solved the Wudang issue? Tony appeared and asked Zhang Sanfen. On my 100th birthday, I threatened all the major sects that came to ask me about the whereabouts of my disciple's dragon-slaying sword, so that they would not dare to do it again. Not only that, I exchanged medicine in the chat group to cure my third disciple Yu Dian, and also made my daughter-in-law and the third disciple reconcile. It is time for me to spread my teachings to the world. Zhang Sanfen laughed when he heard it. You want the Ming dynasty to come out in advance, which is really a big deal. Zhang Sanfen wanted to unify the Central Plains, so he must expel the Yuan people now. After all, he is a Central Plains person, and then he will support an emperor. And since history has proved it, just find Zhu Yuanzhang directly. How to operate it depends on what Zhang Sanfen does. That's right, the old Taoist plans to accept Zhu Yuanzhang as a disciple, and then kill the emperor directly. After supporting Zhu Yuanzhang to the throne, the rest depends on them. The old Taoist only needs to be a guardian god, and there is no need to be the emperor himself. Zhang Sanfen said his plan. So, old man, are you planning to kill your way into the palace with one sword? Tony was interested. Not only that, I will kill all the barbarians, and there will be no war outside the Central Plains from now on. Zhang Sanfen said it firmly, letting everyone see his determination. By the way, I will start a live broadcast for you to see. Don't worry, we will watch it. Everyone responded. Then Zhang Sanfen summoned the 7 sons of Wudang and gathered all the Wudang disciples, planning to go out and clear out the Yuan soldiers. He had already taught his disciples a new skill, and re-strengthened the Wudang formation, the Jinwu 7-section formation. This formation can be performed by at least 7 people, exerting a powerful power, and both offensive and defensive. Today's martial arts world has 3 levels from low to high, 3rd rate, 2nd rate, 1st rate, master, and grand master. Zhang Sanfen was at the grand master level at the beginning, but now he has made another breakthrough and successfully entered the next level. No one in the martial arts world has ever reached this realm, so Zhang Sanfen gave it a name, the realm of the golden body of martial arts. Because Zhang Sanfen created his own skills, the next realm of the Grandmaster will condense a golden body behind him, so it is called the golden body of martial arts. After possessing the golden body, he can almost fight against 10,000 people and directly sweep away any ordinary soldier. Ordinary swords and weapons can no longer cause harm to him, and his lifespan will be directly increased by 100 years. Zhang Sanfen has promoted the new skills to his own Wudang. After unifying the Central Plains, he will spread the martial arts to the world so that everyone can learn it. After all, he always lets his family practice first, and he still knows the principle of one step ahead and all steps ahead. Afterwards, Zhang Sanfen called all the leaders of the famous sects to Wudang Mountain and told everyone about his plan to unify the Central Plains. Everyone's first reaction was disbelief, thinking that Zhang Sanfen was crazy. Although they knew that Zhang Sanfen was powerful, they had never really seen him. Zhang Sanfen called them here not to ask them to fight desperately with the UN soldiers, which was simply impossible. He planned to wait until he had dealt with all the UN soldiers' masters, and then let them take charge of other armies. Without Zhang Sanfen's lead, others would not dare to fight against the UN soldiers. After talking to all the people from all the sects, he quietly waited for others to speak. Master Zhang, we have discussed it. If you can really defeat the UN army, our major sects will be responsible for cleaning up the mess. After all, we are also responsible for our disciples. Master Mijo of the Ime sect came out and spoke to Zhang Sanfen on behalf of the major sects. Because of Guoxiang, the Ime sect and the Wudang sect have always had a good relationship, so everyone recommended Master Mijo to discuss with Zhang Sanfen. When Guoxiang founded the Ime sect, Zhang Sanfen was called Zhang Junbeo before he became a monk. After that, he changed his name to Zhang Sanfen after he became a Taoist priest. Guoxiang had saved Zhang Sanfen several times, so he fell in love with this woman, but it was a pity that the flower was willing but the water was ruthless. Guoxiang likes Yanguo. After meeting Yanguo, she can't accommodate anyone else in her heart. As the saying goes, once you meet Yanguo, you will be ruined for life. Zhang Sanfen is the same. After meeting Guoxiang, he can't accommodate anyone else in his heart. So after Guoxiang established the Ime sect, he established the Wudang sect in Wudang Mountain, which faces Ime. At this time, Zhang Sanfen saw Master Mijo coming out. He has always taken good care of Ime, so he agreed to their plan. Moreover, he didn't expect other sects to make much effort, as long as they didn't hinder him. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 68 Changing Dynasties Master Zhang. Soon after, Zhang Sanfen walked down Wudang Mountain with a sword and headed for the capital of the Yuan dynasty. His speed was very fast, even 1,000 miles a day was considered slow. According to Zhang Sanfen's idea, if he could break through the next realm, he could walk in the air and take off directly. Not long after, Zhang Sanfen came all the way to the capital of the Yuan dynasty and was now at the gate of the palace. At this time, Zhang Sanfen turned on the live broadcast so that everyone could see him. I saw an old man with white hair and immortal style, wearing a Taoist robe and holding a long sword, standing in front of the imperial city. Master, you really look like an old immortal. Everyone looked at Zhang Sanfen, which fits the description of the immortal cultivator in the Chinese legend. Haha, the old Taoist will show you one today, slashing the imperial city with a sword. Zhang Sanfen stroked his beard with his hand and smiled at everyone in the live broadcast room. Stop, the palace is a very important place, what are you doing here, a Taoist priest? The guards at the gate of the palace were not blind, and a group of people came over and surrounded Zhang Sanfen. There was no way, whoever dared to come to the gate of the palace with a sword would be caught and interrogated. Zhang Sanfen did not answer, and directly used the martial arts golden body. In an instant, a blurred image of a golden Taoist appeared behind him. The Taoist was like Zhang Sanfen, with white hair and beard, wearing a Taoist robe, and holding a Tai Chi sword. Then Zhang Sanfen raised his sword with his right hand, and the golden shadow behind him also raised his sword. As Zhang Sanfen slashed the sword towards the imperial city, a huge golden sword light appeared, instantly cutting the entire imperial city in half. This, spare my life, old immortal, spare my life. Seeing this, the soldiers were so scared that they knelt down and begged for mercy. When had they ever seen such a terrible scene? If this wasn't a fairy descending to the earth, what else could it be? Zhang Sanfen ignored the soldiers and flew to the emperor. At this time, the palace was in chaos, and all kinds of eunuchs and palace maids were running around, busy as hell. I am Wudang Zhang Sanfen. I am here to kill the emperor. Anyone who doesn't want to die should leave on their own. From now on, there will be no Yuan dynasty in the world. Zhang Sanfen used his power to raise his breath, and his voice spread throughout the palace. Seeing this, the guards in the palace quickly surrounded them, but looking at the huge gully that was 3 or 4 meters wide and hundreds of meters long, no one dared to step forward. Is the Yuan emperor here? Zhang Sanfen asked the people who surrounded him. The emperor has been chopped to death by you with a sword. At this time, a person responded tremblingly. Zhang Sanfen trembled when he heard this. He hadn't gone to kill the emperor yet, but he was chopped to death by his sword. In this case, Zhang Sanfen didn't say anything more. He asked the guards in the palace to manage the eunuchs and palace maids, and waited for him to send someone to make arrangements, and then he went out directly. He was not afraid that they would not obey his orders. After seeing his sword, no one dared to disobey. After that, Zhang Sanfen found the residences of various court officials and killed all the officials who were not Han Chinese. Those who could be high officials in this dynasty were basically impossible to be Han Chinese, and few Han Chinese would be fully trusted by them. So he only killed a few Mongolian officials, which had little impact on the rule below. When the officials returned to their positions, everything would be as it should be. After cleaning up all the Mongolian high officials, Zhang Sanfen quickly came to Wudang Mountain and asked all Wudang disciples to help with temporary governance, and then slowly select officials later. After that, he sent letters to various major sects, asking them to send people to help manage the court and fight against various supporting troops. Of course, it could only be temporary, and he would not give others the opportunity to make trouble again. Now the most important thing is to go to the Mongolian camp outside the Central Plains, where there are more Mongolian soldiers. I need to eliminate them all, so that I won't have any worries. Although there are troops in the Imperial City and major cities, there are also people from major sects, and my disciples are now very strong. Hundreds of people form a formation, which can completely fight against tens of thousands of troops. With the help of his own Wu-Dang disciples, the major sects are simply killing gods when facing a group of troops. They have almost lost few people and have recovered the troops of all parties. At this time, Zhang Sanfen has also come to the vast grassland. The major tribes on the grassland have also known the news that the emperor of the Yuan dynasty was killed. They are gathering troops and intend to launch an attack on the Central Plains. The major generals gathered 300,000 troops on the grassland and prepared to attack the Central Plains again, but they met an old Taoist priest with a Taoist bone on the way. It was Zhang Sanfen who had already rushed to the grassland. The Mongolian generals present did not know Zhang Sanfen, but some of them came from the capital, knowing that it was because of Zhang Sanfen that the entire Yuan dynasty was in chaos. Following the leader's order, a group of Mongolian cavalry rushed towards Zhang Sanfen. Even if the visitor talked about Zhang Sanfen's great power, no one would believe it. How could someone's martial arts reach this level? They never believed in immortals and gods, only martial arts was everything. Zhang Sanfen was not polite when he saw this. He used the martial arts golden body, and then used the earth-shaking sword, instantly splitting the entire Mongolian army in half, and all the war horses fell to the ground in shock. After that, Zhang Sanfen did not stop, and directly raised his sword and went forward. One person and one sword, one person fell to the ground, but no one could hurt him at all. This battle lasted for several hours, killing the entire Mongolian army. No one dared to attack him anymore. His originally grey Taoist robe was stained with blood. Afterwards, Zhang Sanfen moved deeper into the grassland again. Wherever he went, he killed all the young and strong men, leaving behind a group of old, weak, women and children to fend for themselves. For this kind of nomadic people, the old, weak, women and children can fight on horseback, but he couldn't commit genocide, so he left some of them. If he didn't kill them to the point of being scared, they might invade the Central Plains again in the future. He didn't want to come and kill them again. As Zhang Sanfen walked out of the grassland, not only the Mongolian army, but also some surrounding races that intended to invade the Central Plains were cleared out by him. With Zhang Sanfen's feet this time, the legend of this killing god has been circulating on the grassland, making countless races living here dare not invade the Central Plains for thousands of years. But they will have no chance in the future. Zhang Sanfen will spread his military power throughout the world. As long as he is there, no one will dare to invade. The Taoist priest has made up his mind this time. His robe has turned red. Everyone looked at Zhang Sanfen's robe, which was the most direct manifestation. After this incident, everyone also knew that this old Taoist priest also had murderous intentions and was not so kind. When Zhang Sanfen returned to the Central Plains and summoned the major sects again, everyone looked at the robes that were not colored except blood. They were shocked at how many people he had killed, and they dared not think about anything else. Everyone present was Zhang Sanfen's junior, so how could he not know their little intentions? The reason why Zhang Sanfen summoned everyone without changing his clothes was to shock them. As Zhang Sanfen's orders were passed down, everyone hurried down to execute them. After that, Zhang Sanfen issued a shocking news to everyone, which was to appoint Zhu Yuanzhang as the new emperor and change the country's name to Ming. It was reasonable to change the country's name, but the appointment of a young man made everyone confused. Start as Chaos Demon and join the chat group. Chapter 69 New Supervillain. At this time, Zhu Yuanzhang was still very young. He had been begging for a living before. Not long ago, he was found by Zhang Sanfen and accepted as a disciple. No one knew that it was this unattractive, or somewhat ugly man, who established the powerful Ming dynasty in the original history. Zhu Yuanzhang was the only founding emperor in history who came from a grassroots background and truly started from scratch. And the Ming dynasty saying that the emperor guards the country and the king dies for the country made Zhang Sanfen quite admired, so he directly appointed him to continue to be the emperor. Although there was less training, he believed that the other party could be a good emperor. After all, the future is a country of martial arts, and the significance of the emperor will become less and less. As long as he keeps creating, it will not be a problem to live for thousands of years in the future. With a country that he protects, he will definitely not be afraid of any enemies and unrest. He has this confidence. Not long after some preparation, Zhu Yuanzhang officially held the enthronement ceremony. After he ascended the throne, he immediately issued an imperial decree to confer Zhang Sanfen as the national master of the country. Everyone saw Zhang Sanfen as if they saw themselves in person. In fact, Zhang Sanfen does not lack this title. It is obvious that everyone is more afraid of Zhang Sanfen than the young emperor. However, with this title, Zhang Sanfen can do anything legitimate in the future. Ding, welcome new members, the first emperor and Lufa, to join the chat group. Everyone originally saw Zhang Sanfen successfully overthrow the Yuan dynasty and led Zhu Yuanzhang to establish the Ming dynasty, and wanted to congratulate him. At this time, there was a new member joining the group. Welcome newcomers, come and report your identity. Conan, who has been in the group for many years, appeared first and said to the two. The first emperor, where is this place? Why is there someone talking in my mind? Is it the legendary immortal? Lufa, chat group. Who else in the Milky Way can talk in my mind? King Pierre, it is impossible to find me so quickly. You two, you can take a look at the information in your mind first, and then come to talk to us. Someone reminded them that every time a new person joins the group, they must say something. Soon, both of them understood where they were. At this time, in a luxurious palace, a middle-aged man in a gorgeous dragon robe was reviewing memorials, and suddenly his eyes lit up. Is this a place that can connect the heavens and the worlds? My name is Yingzhen. Is there a way to make me immortal? Yingzhen's eyes lit up at this time, looking at everyone in the group and asked, Yingzhen? Isn't that the first emperor of the Qin dynasty? Zhang Sanfen saw Yingzhen talking, and he understood something in his heart. I know, this is the first emperor in Chinese history. Tony also suddenly appeared and said, Ding, group member Zhang Sanfen uploaded the history of the Qin dynasty, and the destiny space has been generated, and the group points are rewarded with 1,000 points. Originally, Tony was thinking about uploading the history, but he didn't expect to be preempted by Zhang Sanfen. Zhang Sanfen originally lived from the end of the Song dynasty to the beginning of the Ming dynasty, and he was also familiar with the Qin dynasty. For them, Taoists, it is very important to know history. At this time, Yingzhen suddenly saw his own destiny, and hurriedly thanked everyone, and went directly to see his own destiny. Lufa has not spoken since receiving the message from the chat group. He has fought for many years and reached a high position, so he should be vigilant. At this time, he found that he could watch other people's destiny space, so he went in and took a look to understand everyone's personality characteristics so that he could plan for himself. Why doesn't the other newcomer speak? Do you know where he is from? Tony didn't grab Yingzhen's destiny space, so he looked at Lufa and asked everyone. But it was obvious that everyone didn't know, so they had to turn their eyes to Shichen. Ding, group leader Shichen uploaded Armor Hero, and the destiny space has been generated, and the group points are rewarded with 1,000 points. At this time, Lufa also finished reading other people's destiny spaces and had a general understanding of this place. He didn't expect that there would be such a powerful person here, and there were all kinds of weak existences, which opened his eyes. At this time, he saw the legendary group leader uploaded his own destiny space and looked over quickly. Armor Hero, it sounds like a technological world, but I don't know which one is more powerful than my Iron Man suit. At this time, Tony was on the top floor of his building, holding a red wine in one hand while checking the content of the chat group. As for the two new people, he was not interested in one of the emperors, who was just a historical figure, but he was more interested in the other one who seemed to be related to technology. Soon, Lufa finished reading his own destiny, and he was a little helpless about his own ending in destiny. He once existed to protect the Milky Way, but he was framed by the villain King Pier, who sentenced him and his 24 subordinates to the 3 extreme crimes of greed, anger, and stupidity. He was greedy, angry, and stupid, which made him and his subordinates become the demon-faced demons and ghosts who are neither human nor ghost. At this time, he had just led his men to escape from Ares. They stole the Shura armor, the treasure of Ares, and the Genki Vajra, the highest technological crystal in the Milky Way. Originally, he planned to carry out the energy crystal seizure plan of the planet according to his destiny space, but now he does not need this plan that is doomed to fail. After seeing the fate of others, he also knew that everyone here was on the side of justice. He showed them the fate space and let them know that they were the ultimate villain. He was probably not going to have an easy time, but others would also know it. In order to personally avenge King Pier in the future, he decided to regain his justice. Thinking of this, he opened his destiny space to everyone. At this time, everyone had also read Yingzhen's destiny space, and many people had some understanding of this, so there was nothing to see. Everyone was most looking forward to Lufa's destiny space. Everyone, I have read your destiny space and have some understanding of this place. I hope you will read my destiny space and don't have any targeting against me. That is just my future self. Lufa first explained to everyone a little bit, and then opened his destiny space. With his personality, he didn't really want to explain to everyone, but there were too many people here who were stronger than him, so he had to do it from his heart. Lufa's current realm is only the 3rd level, but if he can summon armor, he can be promoted to the 4th level. He was the first summoner of Xingtian armor. Now he fled from Ares Star and only took Shura armor and Genki Vajra. Shura armor is different from other armor. Only when you have the strongest righteousness or the strongest evil can you use it. Everyone listened to Lufa's words and entered Lufa's destiny space with a hint of doubt. Soon, everyone finished reading Lufa's destiny. This is really a tragic character. Tony looked at Lufa and felt quite emotional. Although you are a villain, I feel that we have similarities. Now you can change your destiny. Uchiha Madara appeared and said. Although he can be called a villain in his own world, he is not as vicious as Lufa in the end, but the initial dreams of the two are still similar. One is for the peace of the ninja world, and the other is to protect the peace of the Milky Way. However, the injustice Lufa suffered along the way forced him to become a big villain. Group leader, I hope you can help me and my subordinates to purify the 3 extreme sins of greed, anger, and ignorance in us. If we keep carrying these 3 extreme sins, we will eventually be swallowed by evil. Lufa looked at Shichen at this time, hoping that the other party could help him.